Just when you thought Meghan Markle couldn't step further into the realm of the ridiculous, she pops up with her latest endeavor, Sun Tea. Yes, folks, in a brand new episode of With Love, Meghan, she's gracing us with her wisdom on the noble art of steeping tea in the sun. Because what the world truly needs right now is yet another lesson from Meghan on how to brew a lukewarm concoction in a jar while basking in the sunlight. It's as if she believes that by simply calling it sun tea, she's imparting some kind of ancient wisdom. But let's not kid ourselves, this isn't just a simple drink, it's a ritual she claims has been passed down from her to little Archie. In her nostalgic recounting, Meghan reminisces about her childhood, digging through drawers for dusty tea bags, tossing them into mason jars, or even spaghetti sauce containers. Because let's be honest, nothing screams gourmet like repurposing a jar that once held marinara. Then she'd set these jars out in the sun like some sort of science project gone wrong. I'd sit and wait for it to change color, she proclaims, practically glowing with pride. And now, little Archie is following in her footsteps. How adorable! Nothing like multi-generational bonding over the potential for a case of food poisoning. But let's pause right there. Meghan, you're not exactly reinventing the wheel here. Sun tea has been around since before you were even a glimmer in your parents' eyes. People have been doing this since the 70s and 80s, long before we were all warned about the hazards of letting bacteria flourish in our drinks. The sun doesn't magically heat things up enough to kill off harmful microbes, it encourages them to grow. Think of it as the wild cousin of kombucha, without the fermentation and the charm. So, what's her brilliant recommendation? Go outside, dump some tea bags into cold water, slap it in the sun, and let it steep for a couple of hours. Voila! You've got yourself a lukewarm bacteria brew. Truly groundbreaking. It's as if Meghan flipped through a food safety manual and decided to take a hard left turn into danger. But don't fret. She insists on using fancy silk tea bags or a plethora of loose-leaf varieties. Because, of course, if you're going to drink bacteria-laden tea, it better be the finest quality, right? Only the most exquisite microbes for her followers. And here's the kicker. How is this the same person who continuously rants about disliking the UK yet pushes royal vibes onto her fans? Is this her convoluted attempt to reconnect with British culture? Afternoon tea with a side of potential E. coli? What's next? DIY sun-cooked mayo? Even those who champion sun tea are shaking their heads in disbelief. Sure, people did this years ago, but they typically chilled it in the fridge afterward, not sipped it warm like some twisted tea experiment. Let's face it, the whole idea is fundamentally flawed. Back in the day, people would use strong tea to combat the dilution from ice. They didn't toss in a single sad tea bag and call it a day. And let's be real, there's nothing fresh or innovative about this. Southern Living has been publishing sun tea recipes long before Meghan discovered Instagram filters. Your grandma did this, your mom did this. Heck, your neighbor probably still does it while mowing the lawn. But Meghan? Oh no, she's rebranding it with silk bags and a sprinkle of look how special I am seasoning. If you're scratching your head over this recipe, you're not alone. Most of us just want a simple cup of tea, steaming hot or ice cold, not some murky jar of backyard essence. It's almost as if she sat down and thought, what's the most unappealing way to make tea? And then went all in. And let's not forget the actual process. Meghan's version of sun tea involves letting the tea steep in the sun for 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours. In that time, what you're really brewing is a potential science experiment. I mean, who needs a laboratory when you can just set a jar outside and wait for Mother Nature to work her magic? But wait, there's more. It's not just about the tea, it's about the whole aesthetic. Meghan makes it sound like a spa day for your beverage. She talks about choosing high-quality tea bags, the kind that whisper sweet nothings to the leaves before being tossed into the sun. Because, of course, just any old tea won't do. It has to be premium quality, preferably sourced from some exclusive garden where the tea leaves are nurtured by monks or something equally pretentious. Then there's the presentation. Meghan casually mentions that her concoction should be served in a bougie jar, preferably hand-blown by a Himalayan monk. Because regular sun tea is for the commoners, right? It's as if she's trying to elevate something as simple as brewing tea into a grand performance piece. It's laughable, really. With all this fuss over how to make sun tea, you'd think she was unveiling a top-secret recipe for the next Michelin star dish. And while we're on the subject, how does she expect her audience to actually enjoy this? Let's be honest, the thought of sipping warm, murky tea that's been sitting in the sun for hours is less than appealing. Most of us would rather stick to a hot cup of tea brewed in a kettle or a refreshing glass of iced tea straight from the fridge. Who has time for this lukewarm jar of backyard essence? In the end, Meghan's sun tea isn't just a quirky twist on an old tradition, it's an exercise in self-indulgence. It's about branding herself as the queen of all things trendy, even if it means promoting something that's, let's face it, not exactly safe. It's less about refreshing beverages and more about brewing a wellness elixir filled with potential bacteria. But hey, at least she's consistent in her quest to offer us the most bizarre takes on everyday life. So the next time you find yourself scrolling through social media and you stumble upon Meghan Markle's sun tea tutorial, just remember, it's all about the aesthetic, the story, and the illusion of sophistication. Cheers to that. And while you're at it, maybe just stick to the classics. After all, there's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned cup of tea made the right way, without the risk of bacterial growth. Who knows? You might even find it more enjoyable than sipping on Meghan's latest wellness brew. If there's one thing we can count on, it's that Meghan Markle will always find a way to make the mundane seem extraordinary, even when it's just a warm jar of questionable tea.